Beautiful Jersey City.
And we're live, coming to you from Jersey City, New Jersey. Joseph and Chamel, the McRaeKingz.
Everybody.
The crowd roars. The crowd roars. Yes. What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? What's going on, guys? Y'all come on in, come on in, come on in. We're going to have a little lunchtime chat,
And make sure when you come in, you hit that like button. And if you are not subscribed, you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Shade it in so that you know every time the McRaeKingz go live or drop a new video.
Yes, yes. So it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, Joseph.
It is. I
It
haven't
really
been
is.
outside yet.
Yes, it's really nice outside. It's not hot. It's kind of like a nice breeze blowing, but the sun is shining and stuff. It's really nice outside. So Joseph and I were sitting, we're sitting here.
Right.
We just had lunch, and oh God, lunch was good. We had some bacon and cheese. We had bacon and cheese sandwiches. Yes, and they were delicious. They were just simply, the bacon was nice and crispy and crunchy. Oh my God, it was just so good.
Did you like it?
Yes, I enjoyed it.
See, I like it like the way I made it.
Hmm.
I don't like it burnt and
But see,
hard.
I like the thin. Next time we do it, we gotta get the thin sliced bacon.
That was thick.
Yeah, that was thick slice. But the thin sliced bacon, you would have really enjoyed your sandwich. You would have really enjoyed it, especially if you would have made
See,
the bacon
I like
nice and
bacon.
crispy.
I don't like it crispy. I like it a little chewy.
No, I like mine crispy. Mine has it.
So it was
You can really burn
no, but I'm
mine.
saying it was crispy for you, crispy
Hmm.
enough for you, and chewy enough for me. It was like
Hmm.
that in between.
Yeah, I usually burn my bacon. I like it burnt.
No, I don't like mine
Hey,
burnt.
Reese Cup. Hey, Miss Lois. And T Wright. How you doing? I ain't never seen you in the chat. T
She was
Wright.
in there last night.
T Wright.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's because you don't be reading the chat like me.
No, I don't. I don't.
And I gotta go back in and read the hellos.
I can't read that good with my glasses. These letters is just too small, child.
Music Up says she just saying hi. She's still at work.
Okay.
T Ray said, I'll be here.
Okay. Yeah, but we're so far having a great day.
Hope you are
Um,
too.
I'm excited. I'm really excited
Why?
because I'm going to see my little great niece, my brand new
Oh,
great niece. Y'all, my niece had her baby. She had a little girl, 6 pounds, 6 ounces, and she named the baby Sapphire. And she wants to nickname her Jewel. But she is the beauty. Oh gosh, she is so pretty. The baby. Oh, she's so pretty. I love babies. I love babies. I don't want to have
you're gonna
none.
start dreaming about them
I don't
again.
want to have near baby. I don't want no. I said I love babies. As long as they with somebody else. I don't need no churn.
They don't excite me, honey. Once I
Yeah, I don't
see
need no churn.
one, you
They
seen it
smell. Oh
all.
God, they smell so good. They breath. They breath. Have you ever smelled a baby's breath?
I don't get that close to them.
Baby's breath smells so good. I'm telling you, babies smell so good.
No,
They
I like.
breath.
You know what I like? I like the smell of the baby lotion, the
Hmm.
baby oil,
Me too.
the
Hmm.
powder. That's the smell I like off of a baby.
No, when you pick up the baby popper and you put them right in your face and they be blowing their
I
breath.
don't be doing
Oh, it
that
smells so good.
because I. It's just certain things I don't do with babies. Like I can't stand when I see people kissing on their hands and shit. Babies put their hands in their mouth, bitch. You could have been sucking dick. The fuck you kissing my baby hands for? Like I would be one of those parents that would be giving rules to my baby.
Oh, well, my brother-in-law was like that.
No, because I don't like that. Don't be kissing the baby hands
My
and shit.
brother-in-law, he would
Or
never.
they be kissing the baby in the face. Like, bitch,
Yeah,
no.
my brother-in-law, when all his kids was babies, he never. Nobody was allowed to touch him.
Because people do some dumb shit.
Well,
Hey, Monica.
you're supposed to make sure you wash your hands and stuff before you pick
It's
up
not
the
even,
baby.
Tremaine, people always want to, it ain't about the hands. Because I don't care, because you really touching their clothes, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's the kissing on the baby that pisses me off. It's like, why are you kissing the baby's hands? Or why are you kissing the baby in the face? Bitch, if you want to kiss my baby, kiss her motherfucking feet, bitch. How about that? And they even put their feet in their mouth.
Yeah, that's true.
I
But
wish I could still do that.
no, you're supposed to before when you have a newborn, when you're handling a newborn, you're supposed to make sure that your hands are clean. You're supposed to wash your hands, make sure your hands are clean. And these days, child, you got to make sure you put some hand sanitizer on, child, because
Oh no,
you
these
know.
days, if you pick up my child, you need to have on a goddamn face
Like I got
mask.
a big old bottle of hand sanitizer I'm taking with me,
And a face
you
mask.
know, to go see Jewel, because I don't want to. I don't want. You know, it's COVID out here. You know what I'm saying?
And a face
I don't want
mask.
to pass nothing along. You know, I'm not saying I don't have
Hey
COVID,
Trisha.
but I don't want to pass on anything to my little great niece. I don't want her to
Hello
get sick.
Susan.
You know, so I'm very cautious when I'm handling a baby. Very, very cautious. I believe in making sure you wash your hands, and that's not just washing your hands. You wash your hands from your hands all the way up your arm, child.
Hey and B.
Hey, NB, you know what? I was just watching one of your video clips. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Jeffrey Dahmer. I watched it. Now, if you have not watched it yet, Netflix did a series, a 10 part
Episode
series, 10 episode series on Jeffrey Dahmer
called Dahmer.
called Dahmer. And let me tell you something. That movie was good. It was really, really good. The movie was told from the victim side, because there's a lot of Jeffrey Dahmer movies out, but most of the movies are narrated, and
Bye Reese girl.
they're really narrated from Jeffrey Dahmer's point of view. Because y'all, when this happened, I don't know, you know how old a lot of you are, but I was young when this whole Jeffrey Dahmer thing happened, when you know when they arrested him and stuff like that. He he literally, when he got to the police station, he admitted to everything. He admitted to everything that he did. He even went as far back as his teenage years, because his first kill was when he was a teenager. He was in high school.
And B, I'm gonna talk about that, so stay put.
Yeah, he was only 17 years old. You know, when he killed his first victim. It was a young man that was hitchhiking and wanted to go to a concert. So Jeffrey Dahmer picked him up. And you know, the guy said, "Well, you know, I want to. Are you going this way? I want to go to this concert." Jeffrey Dahmer convinced him. He said, "Well, if you get," he said, "if you get in the car, then I will take you all the way to the concert." And the guy was like, "Okay." And he got in the car, and he said, "Well, let's stop by my house first. Let's have a couple of beers, and you know, smoke some weed and lift some weights." And so the guy was like, "Yeah, cool," you know. So he went back to Jeffrey Dahmer's house with him, and they smoked some weed. They had a couple of beers, and they were lifting weights. And you know, the guy was ready to go. But Jeffrey Dahmer was trying to prolong him from leaving the house. You know, he was like, "Come on, man, we got plenty of time to go to the concert. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna get you to the concert." The guy was like, "No, I'm ready to go now." And so Jeffrey Dahmer decided that he would go over to the young man and kiss him. And the dude was like, when Jeffrey Dahmer tried to kiss him, he was like, "Yo, I'm not with that. I'm not with that." He said, "You know what? He said, I want you to take me to the concert right now."
Hey Monte.
And the guy was like, Jeffrey Dahmer was like, "I'm not taking you to the concert right now." And so the guy was like, "You're gonna take me to the concert right now." And the guy was like, Jeffrey Dahmer was like, "No." And so the guy was like, "You know what? F you. I'm leaving." And when he went to leave, Jeffrey Dahmer grabbed one of the weights that they had. It was like a 25-pound weight. He took it and he threw it at the guy and hit him in the head. And the guy laid on, you know, he fell to the floor. And Jeffrey Dahmer went over to him, and you know, he sat on top of him, and he took his hands and put it around his throat. and he choked him to death. He didn't realize that he had choked the boy to death. And he started crying. He started, screaming and panicking, because he had just killed this boy. And then he didn't know what to do with him. So what he did was he took him and put him in a crawl space. And until he decided what he was going to do with the boy's body. Now, just a little backstory. When Jeffrey Dahmer was young, his father and he would go out and drive out on the road, and they would find roadkill, like, dead possums, dead deers on the road, and they would bring them back to the house and they would dissect them. So what he did was he took that knowledge of what he would do with his father, and he took this boy out of the crawl space and brought him into his garage, and he cut him up in pieces. He cut his arms off, he cut his legs off, he cut his head off, and he took all these body parts and put them in garbage bags. He took the garbage bags and put them in his car, and he was going to take the body, he was going to dump it at the dump. Well, he was driving down the street going on his way to the dump to dump this body, and he got pulled over by the police. The police pulled him over because he was driving and swerving, because he was drinking and driving. So the police officer pulled him over and said, "Let me see your driver's license, registration, da 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 da." Jeffrey obliged him. He gave him his information. The police officer said to him, "Well, you know, um, we saw you swerving and so on and so forth." He was like, he said, "We see you've been drinking." And he said, "Well, my mom and dad just gone through a divorce." And he told the officer that, he was a little depressed because of that. And so the police officer said, "Well, I'm not going to ruin your life by arresting you tonight. But what I want you to do is I want you to turn this car around and go back home." The other police officer was like, "Well, what is this? What are these bags in the back of your car?" He said, "Well, I took a lot of my frustration out on doing yard work." He said they're lawn clippings, they're leaves and lawn clippings and stuff like that. So they just let him go. So his plan to dump the body was ruined by these police officers because they told him, to go home. So he did go home. So he didn't know
Now
what
that
the hell to do with the body.
you ruined it for everybody who hasn't seen
And so what? He didn't know what to do with the body. No, well, I'm not
it. You
ruining.
said so what?
I'm not ruining what happened because this is public knowledge. This is public knowledge. So people anybody that has read up on Jeffrey Dahmer or was alive at the time when this happened, they know what happened. Everybody
Right.
knows what happened. So I'm not ruining the movie for the series. If you want to go watch the series, I suggest you watch it still. You know what I'm saying?
But can
But
we
but
talk about the
but
bigger
but
problem
wait a
with the
minute.
movie?
Getting back to let me finish telling y'all. He took the body back to his house and he didn't know what to do with it. So what he did was he took the torso and he took the other body parts and he took the legs and all that stuff. He boiled them until the flesh came off the bones. Um, and he thought that in doing this he would be able to get rid of the flesh by just boiling it and stuff like that. And he would actually take the bones and pulverize them with a rock or with a hammer. Well, that didn't work because when he discovered that when he when he had the bones, he was crushing them. He failed to realize that on the inside of the bones was still cartilage and stuff like that. And so the bones were really soft and they were wet. He took the bones and put them in the oven until until they burned, and he was able to dispose of the body. He took the bones and he burned them, and he went up to the roof of his house, which was crazy. He went up to the roof of his house and he just threw them out into the yard. Um, and that was his first kill.
That's nice.
Um,
But The bigger part of
What
the
I really
movie,
felt bad about was that he killed the guy that was deaf.
the biggest part of the movie that everybody is missing, and B tapped on it a little bit in what she said in the comment section.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest part of the movie that everybody is missing is how many black people tried to turn Jeffrey Dahmer in, but because he was a white man, the police paid it. They acted like the black people, and they played the real police calls.
Mm-hmm.
So you hear the black people saying something wrong with this man. There's a smell coming out of his house.
Well, it was
You
one
need to
neighbor.
go.
One.
No, it was more than her.
Yeah, it was more than her. Yeah.
But if they were black people, and he lived in
Mm-hmm.
a poor
Mm-hmm.
black neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So first of all, that's why he was getting away with killing all the black men, because let's face facts. Black men disappear ain't no big deal.
Right.
But if it was white women,
Mm-hmm.
I bet you they would solve that murder.
Oh, sure they
that
would.
murder mystery way quicker than they
Sure.
did with them black men.
For sure. Yeah.
And it was because he knew that if he was in a black neighborhood, a poor black neighborhood, and black men started disappearing, that nobody would give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
And it proves it in the movie.
Yeah.
But the black people reporting him, and the police paying it dust. Oh, mind your business. If you call again, we're going to arrest you. What you arrested me for? I'm telling you that this man is hurting people in his house. I hear him.
Mm-hmm.
I can smell the rotten flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And you're telling me that it's in my mind. You go to his house and you smell it and you pays it.
But you know what was really,
Even when the black boy the one that got away, reported him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, he wasn't the one that got away. It was another one that got away.
Well, actually, two people. Two black men got away.
But the first one, the police didn't even believe him because they went and asked Jeffrey, and he lied, and they just believed his lie.
But that wasn't because he was living in a black neighborhood.
No,
he was living with his grandmother at the time.
No, because they didn't want to believe a black boy.
No,
over a white man.
Right.
It was the same reason.
Right.
Because this white man sat there and lied to you. You could look at the look on the grandmother's face and tell she was lying. I mean, you don't have to be a police to see the grandmother was lying for him. But they chose to believe a white man over the black boy because that's what happened. Well,
the grandmother didn't actually lie. She didn't. The grandmother didn't actually lie on him. The grandmother, because Jeffrey was living with his grandmother for a period of time. So he had went to the club that night, and there was this guy outside, and his car wouldn't start. His battery was dead. So Jeffrey, knocked on his window and said, what's going on? What's going on? And the guy was like, he was like, I saw you in the club. And the guy was like, I have a dead battery. He said, if it's a jump that you need, let's walk back to my house and I will get my car and I will go and give you a jump. So they got back to his grandmother's house, right? And the black guy was like, okay, what's going on? He invited him in the house. He said, okay, what's going on? He said, I'm ready to go. He said, can you go give me a jump on my car? And the guy was like, Jeffrey was like, yeah, just give me a minute. And the guy was like, listen, I got to go to work in the morning. I need, you either going to give me a jump or you're not. So Jeffrey was like, no, don't worry about it. He said, calm down, man. He said, I'm going to give you a jump. He said, why don't you have a cup of coffee? And so Jeffrey made him a cup of coffee. And when he made this guy a cup of coffee, he had put some drugs in it. And these drugs that he put in it made this guy, it just knocked him out. So Jeffrey's grandmother came downstairs and said, Jeffrey, it is late. You don't need to be having no company and all this other stuff in the house. And she came downstairs and she saw the man sitting on the chair, and he was like knocked out. And she asked him, Jeffrey, what's wrong with this man? What's going on? He said, oh, well, he's had too much to drink.
Right.
And so his grandmother was like, he don't look like he had too much to drink. He looked like something else is wrong with him. He looked like something else is wrong with him. So, she was like, call 911. And Jeffrey was like, Grandma, leave it alone. He's just drunk. She said, I don't believe that. So she said, I'm going to sit down here until this young man wakes up and I know that he's okay. If he's not okay in the morning, then we're taking him to the hospital. So the next morning came and the drugs still had their effect on him. He was like high. He was out of it. He was lethargic. He was out of it.
Right.
So Jeffrey and his grandmother took the boy, put him in the car, and went to the bus stop. They took him to the bus stop. When the bus came, Jeffrey walked him onto the bus and sat him on the back of the bus.
And that's when he walked out into the corner.
And the boy rode on the bus all day long until the bus driver was like, "This is the last stop. This route is closed." So the boy got off the bus
and he was still high.
He was still high, and he walked out into a field and he passed out. And the next thing he remembers is he was in the hospital.
Right.
And then he went to the police station and he reported that, Jeffrey was trying to kill him and that Jeffrey had given him all these drugs and stuff like that and tried to kill him. The police went and did an investigation. They went to Jeffrey's house. He was like, no, Jeffrey had convinced the police that the boy was just drunk.
Right.
And he said that's all he knew.
And they believed him again because he was a white man.
Mm-hmm. Now, what was really sad? What was really sad was Jeffrey was convicted of, this one victim that he had was 12 years old. He brought this boy to his house and he drugged him the same way. And somehow this boy escaped and he got home. And when he got home, he passed out. And his father, after he sobered up, the young man took his father back to Jeffrey's house, and they pressed charges on him. So he was convicted of molesting a child, a minor, and he was sentenced to 1 year in jail for this. What was sad was his brother, after Jeffrey got out of jail, Jeffrey kidnapped his brother and he tried to turn him into a zombie. The way he tried to turn him into a zombie is he took a drill and he drilled a hole in the top of this boy's head and poured acid into his head. And the boy escaped. And the police, the next door neighbor, she found the young man because he was naked. He ran out of Jeffrey's house naked. Jeffrey went to the store and left the boy there, and the boy got out of his house. The neighbor next door saw the young man, and he was naked, and he was walking down the street. So she was like, she called the police. She was like, this boy is something wrong with him. And so Jeffrey came up on the scene and said, "What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing?" And she was like, "Do you know this man?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's my boyfriend." She said, "Your boyfriend?" She said, "This boy don't look like he old enough to be your boyfriend because he was only 14 years old." And so the next door neighbor had called the police. She said, "Listen, something wrong with this boy. He's saying that this is his boyfriend, but this boy don't look like this boy don't even look like he's 21." Because Jeffrey told the police that it was his boyfriend, and he was 21 years old, and he had been drinking. And so the neighbor was like, "No, I don't believe that. I don't believe that." And the police was like, "Well, ma'am, he said that it was his boyfriend, so we can't do nothing." She said, "What you mean you can't do nothing?" She said, "Y'all got to take this boy to the hospital." They were like, "Well, Jeff, he said he was drunk." And so, the neighbor was like, "No, he's more than just drunk. He needs to go to the hospital." But the police left the scene and left him there. And Jeffrey ended up killing him too.
So
Jeffrey ended up killing him. Not only killing him, he cut his head off and put it in the refrigerator.
So y'all, if y'all have not watched Dahmer on Netflix,
You need to watch
Make
it.
sure you check it out because it's very informative.
Yes.
If you don't know of the story of Jeffrey
Yes, if you
Dahmer,
don't know the story of
and if
Jeffrey
you
Dahmer.
do, it's told from a totally different perspective of what you've already
Yes,
seen.
it's a very good series. Very good series. I give it a 10. I do. I give it
So
a 10. On a scale of 1 to 10, I give it a 10.
make sure you watch it if you haven't watched it. I know
Mm-hmm.
MB watched it. And
Yes.
on MB's channel, y'all go subscribe to MA. Y'all go subscribe to AMNB-B.
Yes. Go and
She's in
subscribe
the
to this
chat
channel.
because she's putting up real trial conversations that the victims had with Jeffrey Dahmer at the time. But Dahmer is
Yeah.
I hate saying
Now, something they changed
I
some
hate
things.
saying that it's a good movie because it's about real life.
Mm-hmm.
But if you into real life drama and cops and
Yeah.
homicide, then this is definitely a show for you because it's good.
Yeah. Now, the next door neighbor is played by Niecy Nash, and she did a phenomenal job. I think she's going to get an Emmy for that. She did a very good job in playing the next door, the neighbor that lived next door to Jeffrey. Um, and I'm telling you guys, this movie is great. This series is it's a great series. It's very interesting. It'll leave you on the edge of your seat. But also know this that it is based on a true story. Now,
So it ain't
what
fiction.
confused me, Joseph, was in the real trial, the last man that got away.
Uh-huh.
He said he was not gay.
Right.
He said he was not gay.
But they depicted him as gay in the
But they
movie.
depict him as being gay in the movies and being attracted to Jeffrey. That's why he went to Jeffrey's house.
Right.
So that was one of the
Maybe in the
things.
trials he didn't want people to know. The real
Yeah, I
man
don't
didn't
know.
want people to know, but in the movie they knew.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's up in the air.
Another sad thing is in the backstory. This is the backstory, y'all. The family whose 14-year-old son was killed by Jeffrey, they sued they sued the city of Milwaukee because of what they did. They left they had an opportunity to take his son, but they didn't because they believed Jeffrey when he said the boy was 21 and it was his boyfriend. So that family sued the city of Milwaukee, and they sued him for $1.2 million, and they lost. So they went and sued him again, and they got a settlement, and the settlement was for
800,000.
$800,000. That was it. That's what they got for the
But
death
you
of
know,
their son.
again, they were immigrants,
Yeah, they were immigrants. Yeah,
and they're not gonna treat them like if they were white people, they would have got the $2 million. If
yeah,
it was a little white 15-year-old girl, they would have
uh-huh.
got the $2 million they was looking
Yeah,
for, and they wouldn't have lost. This is all about immigrants, black people, um, minorities.
yeah,
They treated the minorities like they wasn't shit.
yeah,
And then when they all got busted,
uh-huh.
because too many times the police had stopped him, too many times people had called the police and they did absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
Now you got to answer for that.
uh-huh.
Nowadays, if that happened, I'm sure they would have won what they were looking for.
Yeah.
Because nowadays they know people ain't having their bullshit no more.
Well, see,
But back
things like that
then,
still happen today.
right? But back then, it was more still racially biased.
Yeah.
More so than it is today. It's still racially biased.
Uh-huh.
Don't get me wrong. It's still
Uh-huh.
racially biased, but not as racially biased as it was back then.
Yeah, it
But
was. It
can
was.
we I don't mean, you finished with Jeffrey?
Yes, I'm finished with Jeffrey.
So we need to talk about something else.
What's that?
We need to talk about this, y'all.
Because you can rip those shade like an evergreen bush.
Like a motherfucking evergreen that's 70 feet tall, bitch.
You can rip those.
I am.
The shade of it all.
Let me tell y'all something. You know, me and my husband always tell y'all, you have issues, problems, anything. You can email us. If you have our phone number, you can call us. You can reach out to us on Facebook. We don't mind. But let me tell you what you're not going to do. What you're not going to do is call me crying, because you's a punk bitch, because you know you a joke. You're not going to call me crying. And then we give you information
Or advice.
or advice. And then you going to take that information and advice and think we don't know what the fuck we talking about. Because you just so, what you really called for was because you wanted backup and you wanted somebody to, yes, yes, yes,
You want
yes, yes.
validation.
You doing the right thing. You keep doing what you doing. And then when that ain't what you get a motherfucking attitude. And then I'm sitting watching something and I'm like, did you really just say that? Bitch? For real? You really think you that motherfucking smart? Okay. Cause the only thing I'm gonna do is laugh when what you want to happen don't happen.
Well, it
I'm
was a
going to
well,
laugh.
yesterday's conversation with the friend that we were talking about um, is a prime example of people, of someone hearing what they want to hear and not listening, not opening up their ears and listening. Um, Yesterday, Joseph and I, we had a conversation with a friend that called us, and he asked us for some advice. Well, he really didn't ask us for any advice. He just asked us our opinion on something, and we gave him the honest truth,
The brutal honest
the
truth.
brutal honest truth about how we saw things, not how we felt, but how we saw things.
And how other people
And
probably perceive things
unfortunately, he did not receive what we said well.
at all.
And also, in addition to him not receiving what we said well, he misunderstood a lot of things that we said. Um, and what confused me about the whole conversation was is that I felt like, okay, when you asked me how I saw things or how I felt about what was going on, I asked you first. I said, do you want me to be honest with you or do you want me to be brutally honest with you? And he said, I want you to tell me the honest to goodness truth about how you see things and how you feel. And when I expressed that to him, um, he didn't receive it well.
And then it was Tramel's phone call, but Tramel had the speakerphone on. So I'm listening and I'm thinking, you know what? Tramel is beating around the bush. Y'all know Joseph. Joseph is hard, tough love. So, I was a little more brutal than Tramel
Hmm.
because I'm like, well, this, and this, but you're saying this, but this is how people are perceiving it.
Hmm.
You want to get mad.
Yeah.
And I get what I asked for. Really? You really get what you asked for? But I don't see it that way. You know, you say you don't need this, but yet every day you asking for this. So that ain't adding up to me. And it ain't adding up to other people. I'm being honest. I'm like, you not making sense. Cause in one you talking out the side of your neck. Cause in one breath, I don't need you for this and I don't need you for that. But in the next breath, you begging for everything you can get your hands on. So make it make sense. Sense to me. You know, I don't, but I just got offended because everything me and Tramel said, I'm watching a video and you talking about us without talking about us like I'm doing right now. And it's just hilarious to me because it's like, well, you the one out here making a fool of your motherfucking self, and people are laughing at you, but you think you got people on your side. But we all know when a bitch making a fool out of themselves, everybody in their corner, oh yeah, I agree, I agree. Meanwhile, when your back is turned, they talking about you like a dog. We all know that. You've all been in on conversations like that with other people.
Hey, Melissa.
Saying, what the fuck was they thinking? What the fuck was they doing? Oh, I sent Melissa the video. so she can see for herself. I just gotta explain because she don't know the parts that I'm talking about. But I sent her the video, and she was like, "Joseph, this cuckoo bird has lost their mind." I said, "Yes, because they're listening to that roach that crawls up in their ear, talking to them in the middle of the night, honey." They listening to that roach that crawls up in their ear, listening to them in the
Oh,
middle
my
of the
Lord,
night.
have mercy, Jesus. The shade of it all. The shade of it all.
But what you're not going to do is make a video and talk about the things that we talked about and try to make it like me and Tramel don't know what the fuck we talking about. Because
we knew what we were talking about.
You just set in your ways and it's going to be your way because that little roach told you that's in your ear talking to you in the middle of the night that's what's going to happen. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, it was.
But don't ask. My whole purpose for that was basically, why do people ask people for their opinion and then when they get it, they get mad and they get an attitude?
Yeah.
Everybody ain't gonna be on board.
Right.
Everybody ain't gonna be on board, and that's just like I had a conversation kind of similar to this a couple of days ago.
Right.
I said, you know what? You don't always have to be on board with the things that I do.
Right.
But at the same time, don't sit and tell me you support me, but because I don't want to hear the but. Like if I come to you and ask you what should I do, that's one thing. But if I come to you and tell you this is what I'm going to do, it's okay for you to say, Joe, I don't think that's a wise decision. But don't sit and say, okay, I support you, but I don't think that's a wise decision, because that's talking out the side of your neck.
Right.
You don't support me, but you saying that just to keep me quiet. But in the same token, now you want to give me your honest opinion. Just give me your honest opinion. I don't think that's a wise choice.
Right.
Period. End of story.
I just believe that whenever you listen, guys, if you come to, regardless whether it's Joseph and I, whoever it is, if you go to somebody and ask them their opinion or ask them for advice on something, be prepared. Just be prepared for it, for some of your views or your feelings to not be validated, because that's basically what it was. I wasn't trying to validate the
bullshit.
Yeah, the things that he was saying.
The fuckery.
I wasn't trying to validate
the
because it did not make sense to me. And listen, when you come to me, and and this goes for all you people that have been watching us from day one, y'all know, if you come to me and you ask me my opinion on something, or you ask me my advice on something, I'm going to give you the honest to goodness truth. If it's sometimes the honest to goodness truth is going to be hard. It's going to be given to you with some tough love. It's going to be given to you honestly and wholeheartedly. I'm not going to, if you come to me and you ask me my opinion on something and I don't agree with it, I'm going to let you know I don't agree with it. I'm not going to sit there and talk to you and tell you things that you want to hear. If it does not apply, I'm not going to tell you. That's the problem with a lot of us. We sit and we have conversations with people, and we, when people ask us for our advice or our opinion on something, we tell them what they want to hear. No, you can't do that. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't tell people what they want to hear. You should tell them the honest to goodness truth. If you can't tell them the honest to goodness truth, then you don't need to have a conversation with them at all. And that's just that. That's just that, Joseph.
Right. It's crazy. And my thing is, you wasting a person's time, because this is what happens. You don't hear what you want to hear. So then now you begin wasting a person's time trying to prove your point while you know what you're talking about, or why you right, or why you see things the way you see things. And in actuality, you're wasting your time because the person don't give a fuck.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. Once my mind is made up like you, I don't give a fuck. I think you're an imbecile. And you open your mouth, the more imbecilic you start sounding to me. Because it's like, okay, I just told you that don't make sense. But you gonna explain to me why it makes sense. So then I come back with more reasons why it don't make sense. And here you go again. And it's like, okay, so I'm not trying to understand why you think I'm giving you valid points why it don't make sense. You're not giving me valid points why it makes sense because you just keep saying the same shit over and over and over again. And I'm telling you, don't nobody give a fuck about that but you.
Right.
And you don't want to hear me.
Well, the issue is that if you ask me for my opinion, don't get mad when I give
No, but I'm
my
saying
my
it just
honest
becomes a
opinion.
waste of time because they keep
Don't
trying to
get
prove
mad
a
at me
point.
because I'm giving you my honest opinion and how I feel about it. You came to me and you asked me
Right.
how I feel. What do I think? You asked me, you know, why, and I told you
Why?
why. I told you how I see it, and you can't get mad or frustrated with me because I'm telling you my what I feel is right.
You know when you can get mad at a person, and I say this all the time. I said it in my live the other day. If a person comes to you and just blatantly gives you their opinion, you have every right to be mad because one, I didn't ask you.
Right.
Two, I don't give a fuck what you think.
Right.
Three, that's how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
So you have every right to be upset, to be mad, or not to receive what it is that they say.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go to somebody and you ask them their opinion, then the only thing you can do is respect their opinion.
Right.
Stop trying to debate with them. Stop trying to make them see things your way. Stop trying to, well, I did this because, and I'm doing that because. Because at the end of the day, they've already made up their mind about you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you asked them what
Mm-hmm.
they never came to you and just blatantly said, this is what I think.
Mm-hmm.
You came to them and asked them what they think. And at
Mm-hmm.
that point you only have one choice, but to respect what they say to you and keep it
Right.
moving.
Right.
But people don't do that
Mm-hmm.
because now they mad. Because now you ain't on the same ship with them.
Right.
Bitch, I'm never getting on a ship with a dummy and let it take me nowhere.
Right.
Because the only thing we gonna do is sink together, and I'm not getting on no ship that I know is sinking.
Mm-hmm. I've just always been a firm believer. Don't ask questions that you don't really want the answer to. You don't want the real answer to.
But my thing is this
You
too.
shouldn't ask questions that you don't really want the answer to. If you're not ready to receive what a person is giving you, then you don't need to ask them. You don't need to
And
ask.
you can't talk book smarts to people that are uneducated. And I'm not saying everybody's uneducated, but people didn't read these quote unquote books
Mm-hmm.
that you quote unquote getting your knowledge from.
Right.
Most people didn't read these books.
Right.
Most, let's be realistic.
When
Most
you're
black
speaking to
people,
somebody, you got to speak to
but
them on
let's
their
be
level.
realistic. Most black people ain't picking up these books.
Right.
But like you said, why should you have to dumb yourself down to their level? Well, then clearly you ain't trying to reach the people because you got to meet people where they at. And that don't mean if you a bum, I gotta be a bum. That don't mean if you poor, I gotta be poor. That don't mean if you rich, I gotta be rich. That just means I gotta meet you where you at. We need to have a conversation that we both understand.
Right.
I'm not gonna sit and talk to somebody that graduated from Harvard using a bunch of words that I'm sitting there going, what the fuck are they talking about?
Right.
But if you talk to me in
Right.
a common, normal language that I understand, I'm more susceptible
Right.
to listen to what you're saying than
Mm-hmm.
you sitting there trying to act like you some educated black man. And I'm like, what the fuck are they talking
Right.
about?
It's called talking to somebody on their level. You have to talk to people on their level so that they can have a clear understanding of what you're trying to say or what the point that you're trying to get across. Some people they don't want to, and when you talk to them on their level, they're not ready to receive what you have to say.
Right. Because they don't understand it. Right, Melissa? They can't, and you right about that. They can't even repeat the same hog doodle they just finished saying It's so asinine. It becomes a convoluted maze, and nobody can tell. And you're right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you're right because you saw the video.
Mm-hmm.
Repeat what you just said. I don't even remember what I just said. Then why the fuck did you say it?
Mm-hmm. Hey, Miss Lois.
Really, Miss Lois, what happened to you that you had to learn it the hard way? I want to know. I just I just feel that if you go to somebody and ask them for their opinion, you have to respect what they say. Even if they're not on board with you or rolling with what you did or what you said, you still have to respect it because that's how they feel.
Right.
Because I'm not gonna ask somebody their opinion and then get mad because they don't agree with what I agree with.
I'm just not a yes person. I'm not a yes person. I'm not going to sit here and tell you things. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. If you ask me my honest opinion on something, I'm going to give you my honest opinion on it, regardless whether you like it or not. Now, if you receive what I give you in a negative way, or you don't want to receive what I give you, that's fine. That's all well and good. That's fine.
And
But
then
understand that you came to me and you asked me what my honest opinion was, and I gave it to
the
you.
killer part was when they tried to make my husband feel bad. And Tramel just let it roll off his back like a water off a duck's back. But I'm not stupid. I knew what you was doing. I'm not stupid. I knew what you was doing. And then you sounded like a fucking fool saying what you said to him, trying to make him feel bad when anybody with common sense know that it's a motherfucking lie. Nobody would ever believe that shit
Well, I
in a
didn't feel
million
bad.
years
Well, there was nothing for me to feel bad about
because it was a lie.
because I was telling him the truth.
No, because it was a lie. You know what I'm talking. I don't want to
Right.
say it on here, but you know the part I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
when they said to you, "Well, you wouldn't know what that feels like." Okay, he never said he know what that felt like.
Right.
He will soon, but he don't know now. Trust and believe my
But
words on
see,
that.
my thing was is that he asked me for my honest opinion, and I gave it to him, and he didn't like everything that I had to say. And I'm saying that that's okay. It's fine for you not to like everything that I had to say. But
You
I
was very
wanted you to
diplomatic.
understand. I want you to understand that it was you that came to me and asked me my opinion. And I gave it to you. I did what you asked me to do. I asked you, do you want me to be honest or do you want me to be brutally honest? And you said you wanted me to tell you the honest to goodness truth on how I felt or how I saw things. And that's exactly what I did. So I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad in any way. I don't in any way feel
You
bad about
shouldn't feel
anything
bad
that I
because
said.
you was very diplomatic. I was very straight to the point. Like, child, I ain't gonna blow smoke up your ass, honey. I'm gonna tell you the way it motherfucking is. And
Right.
if you don't like it, I don't give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Because I ain't the one out here making a fool out of myself.
Mm. Well, um,
Folks ask my advice. Then they get mad at what I say. Then they
mm-hmm.
laugh at me because my degree in psychology is a joke. Child, let me tell you something, Miss Lois. Again, they mad because you ain't on board with them.
Right.
They mad. Oh, you got a degree in psychology. Well, you know what? Since you got a degree in psychology, I believe we friends on Facebook. I'm going to inbox you this video and you tell me what you think about it because you have a degree in psychology. And you tell me if it's the roach in their ear.
Child, if she see that video, honey, she might have to go to therapy herself
Okay.
after looking at that video. But yeah, it's just some things just don't make sense.
And even then, somebody's trying to educate you. Somebody's trying to educate you because you just proved that you a dumbass and don't even know why certain things are the way they are. And they trying to educate you on it, and you don't even want to hear that.
Right.
You still, well, what do you think about what I said? Who gives a fuck? He
Right.
just educated you on why it is the way it is. And the only thing out of your mouth, what do you think about what I said? Clearly, he's telling you you're a dummy because you don't know what you're talking about. You don't even know the reason why you're saying what you're saying. All you know is what you think it means, and they educating you on the whole
Well, I wasn't
situation.
telling him he was a dummy. I was
No, that
saying
wasn't you.
I
No,
was
it
saying
wasn't you. It
right.
was on their video.
Right.
The person was trying to educate them to a certain situation,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of listening to what he was saying and then getting a better understanding of why things are the way they are,
Mm-hmm.
instead of that, instead of saying, "Oh, you know what? I didn't even realize that," or "You made a valid point," you know what they say?
Mm.
"What do you think about what I said? You didn't answer my question. What do you think about?" Don't nobody give a fuck about what you say, because he's answering your question by
Mm-hmm.
answering the question the proper way, telling you why
Oh,
things
okay.
are the way they are,
Mm-hmm.
and your dumb ass still just want a yes or no to your question.
Right. No, well, actually, no. He wanted him to agree with him. He wanted him to
But you know, how
agree,
can I agree with
even though
you?
he felt as though it was, even though he felt as though it was wrong. He still wanted him to agree with him,
But
and
how can
he
you?
got mad because the guy didn't agree with
But
him.
how can you? How can you have an opinion about something? No, well, you can. You have an opinion about something, and then somebody comes along and say, "Well, do you know why this is the way it is?" And you sit there silent because you don't. You really
Mm-hmm.
don't. And they explain to you why it is the way it is, why it is the way it is, and your only response to that is, "Well, you still. What do you think about what I said?"
Mm-hmm.
Like, you sound like a fucking fool.
Here's an example. I go to the doctor, like you guys, I have diabetes. Okay, I go to the doctor. The doctor says, "Well, Tramel, you have diabetes. You're not supposed to consume sugar because if you continue to consume sugar, it's going to make you sick. You're going to get sicker, and you're going to have complications, complications, complications." And I say, "Well, I don't care what you say. I eat sugar, and it doesn't bother me. It doesn't do anything to me. If I don't listen to what the doctor says, what's going to end up happening is I'm going to get sick." It's called being in denial, people. Some people are just misguided, sadly misguided, and they they just don't. Um, they're in denial. They're just in denial of things.
It's hilarious.
It is. It is.
It's
But
just
yeah, that conversation yesterday was
a whole key.
it was confusing to me. It was confusing to me because they tried to make me feel like I said something that was not right, or what my opinion was totally wrong, and that's not true at all.
When you ask for it,
Right.
me, I don't care. I don't care one way or another because, again, it ain't me out here making myself look like a fool. So continue to do you
Mm-hmm.
and just continue to do you. That's all I'm going to say on that because I ain't got time.
Yeah.
Bye, Monte. Enjoy your day.
Have a good day, Monte. Love you.
So, what else is we going to talk about for Lurch time chat?
Um. Uh.
Zatima.
Zatima, yes, Zatima. If you have not watched, Tyler Perry has a new series,
A
television
spinoff from
series. It's
Sisters.
a spinoff from Sisters of Fatima. Fatima is one of the characters, one of the main characters on Sisters, and Tyler Perry has given her and Zach a spinoff show called Zatima. This show is, I loved it. I loved it. There's a lot of there's an interesting plot. There's an interesting the characters on the show. The team is based on Zach and Fatima. They just started a relationship, and they just moved in together with one another. And if you watch it, you'll see some of the things that they endure and go through. It's a good show. It's on BET Plus. You can watch it on either BET. It comes on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m., or you can watch it on BET Plus. I don't know if this is going to be a BET Plus show, because what they did was they just showed you a preview of the show on BET. But it may just be a show that's going to be available on BET Plus. So if you have a Amazon Prime account, you get BET Plus absolutely free. And you can watch Zatima. It was a very, very good show. Um, or you can get the BET Plus app and you can watch this show on BET Plus. But that is the network that it airs on, BET Plus. So go over to Amazon Prime and access your BET Plus, and you know um, see if you like the show. It's a very, very good show. It really is.
Yes, because I love Zach and Satima. They remind me of me and you.
Hmm.
That ride or die. Especially, I love Fatima,
Yeah, I
honey.
love Fatima. She gangsta.
She gangsta.
Yeah, she gangsta.
Straight up gangsta.
Now, also, guys, the weather is changing. We're about to embark on the cold weather. Wow, Joseph,
I like it.
fall is here already.
You know me. I like fall. I
Yeah,
like winter.
and the end of the
But
year
we
is here.
shouldn't be having too much of a harsh winter.
Well, we're not going to experience the harsh winters like we did up in upstate
But
New
it could
York.
get kind of cold down there.
It can get cold down here, but we don't. I mean, it's never been below 3
Oh, no, not
like it
there.
was up in
Not
upstate New
there.
York. So, and the end of the year is coming. Would you believe in 2 months I will be 55 years old?
Yes, and we got to do something.
Yeah, well, I wanted to have a party.
Well, we're going to be there.
Yeah, we'll
So,
be in Georgia. Hopefully by then.
you know,
Hopefully by December.
we can get El Manning together, Miss Southern Girl,
Mm-hmm.
Camille and Shantae and Lance.
Mm-hmm.
We can do a little something,
Yeah, I wanted to
something.
have a celebration. I wanted to have like a little small party or something.
If if we wasn't moving,
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna plan a big to do. I was gonna plan a big to do. Yes, Betty, it came on already. Check it out on BET
Yes, on
Plus.
BET Plus.
Or
Yes.
if you don't have BET Plus, if you have Amazon Prime, you can check it out on there as well.
Uh-huh.
It's a very good show.
Yeah, I don't know if
So
they're gonna
far, I
air it
like it.
this week on BET. I'm not
No, they
sure
probably won't put it on BET
because they
Plus.
only did like a preview of the show.
Right.
So I don't know if it's going to be a show that's you're going to
Well,
be
it
able
was
to see
supposed to
on
come out
BET.
BET Plus.
Right, right. But
Because
no, what
most
I'm saying is
no,
I
but
don't know if
most
it's
of the
going to be on
time,
network television.
but if you notice, most of the time when it comes on BET is when it's finished on BET
Right,
Plus.
right.
So you may be able to see it on BET after it's finished on BET Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Because like All the Queen's Men was very BET Plus for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and then they put it
On
on
BET,
BET.
yes.
So
It may
and
be
it was the same
available
thing
on
with
the
like
network
Family
channel
Business.
BET. Yeah.
Family Business was the same way. It was on BET Plus, and then after a while they put it on
Yeah,
BET.
now it's on BET, but they're
Right.
only like Family Business right now. I believe it's on season 2 on
No,
BET. On
on
BET,
BET.
yes, on season 2, but there's actually 3 seasons already that have come out. So all the shows that you're seeing on BET now, you can actually see them on BET Plus.
Right, in real
Um,
time.
and yeah, in
Or
real time.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
Because if you have Amazon Prime, you'll be able to see BET Plus
right.
shows. But on regular BET, you just have to wait till they put them there.
Yes, Betty, but do you have BET Plus? Because if you have BET Plus, then you can watch these shows on BET Plus. You could actually binge watch them because they have the whole seasons there. Um I
Like the
be-
Black Hamptons.
yeah.
They're on BET Plus, but they're not on BET.
Right, right.
Or you can watch it on Amazon Prime if you
Right.
have Amazon Prime Video.
Right.
You can watch it there, but you can't watch it on regular BET because it's not there.
Right, right. It's not available on the BET network.
Right.
It's only available on the BET Plus or the BET Plus app.
Or the
So,
Amazon Prime.
the Amazon Prime, because Amazon Prime, if you have an Amazon Prime account, you do get BET Plus absolutely free.
Right.
Yeah. So, um,
But that show is good. I like it.
yeah.
And there's a bunch of other shows me and Tramell are going. Black Hamptons is good too.
Yeah.
The Black Hamptons is real good.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Yeah.
So if
Now,
you haven't watched that, you got to watch that too.
yeah. Now, another thing that I'm looking forward to coming up in November is the new Black Panther movie.
Yes.
The new Black Panther movie is supposed to come out in November. Um, I can't remember what the date is, but they have put a date out for it. But I'm looking looking forward to the new Black Panther movie because, of course, you guys know Chadwick Boseman played Black Panther. He has passed away, so the movie is supposed to be dedicated to him. And I'm really excited to see how they're
Who's
going
going to
to
take the mantle?
dedicate this movie to him because they say that
Well, in the preview, you see
it's going to be
they have
obvious.
his face up and they have like a memorial for him, like in the
Mm-hmm.
preview.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more excited to see who's going to take the mantle of Black Panther.
Right. Who's gonna be the new Black Panther? Is it gonna be his sister? Is it gonna be T'Challa? Who is it going to be?
Well, T'Challa
I mean, no,
was
no, no, not T'Challa.
M'Baku.
M'Baku. I'm trying to figure out where everybody's just suspensely waiting to see who the new Black Panther is going to be. If you're into comic books and stuff like that, you'll see that in the comics, his sister takes over.
The succession is his sister takes
Right.
over.
Right, she takes over as Black Panther,
But I wish they would have replaced him because that's how they were supposed to introduce Storm into the Marvel universe because you know him and Storm had got married and had a child.
Right, right.
And the child was Spike because the child could pull spikes out of his body.
Right.
And like kind of like a porcupine, but they were hard spikes that nobody could like touch him or grab him once he pushed the spikes out.
Right.
So that kind of messed up the whole premise because I think they were going to introduce Storm in the second show.
Yeah, I think had he not died,
right? Because the Wakandans knew about Storm because remember she's from Africa too, and they used to call her the Weather Witch. And then when she married him, she became queen. So could you imagine Black Panther King and Storm Queen? Child, y'all would never have a problem.
Right.
Nobody can mess with you.
Wasn't he in the movie? Wasn't he about to marry the other girl?
Right. But in the comics, he ended up marrying Storm. And they still may introduce her because Namor is the antagonist in this movie. So Storm could just come along because, again, she's African and knows about Wakanda, and the Wakandans know about her, and she could upset the whole sea.
Is Doom in this movie? Is Doom going to be in this movie?
Allegedly, they say he is because that's how they're going to introduce the Fantastic Four. But they're not coming out till, I think, 2024.
Right.
So little by little, they're going to start introducing mutants to the MCU because that's how they have to do it because Sony did their thing. So now they can't just make an X-Men movie. They got to little by little put like Namor is a mutant. He was born that way. Miss Marvel was a mutant. She was born that way. Or that's what they're trying to say. Because again, even Miss Marvel's powers was manipulated for the show. Because that's not really how she got her powers. She got her powers like the oh God, I can't think of like Black Bolt and Medusa. She got her powers from the Terrigen Mist. And they are considered mutants now because the Terrigen Mist reconstructed their DNA. But they were normal people until the Terrigen Mist. On their planet, you had to walk through the Terrigen Mist, and whatever your powers were that the mist gave you was what you did.
Now, another show you guys need to check out, it's on Disney Plus, and that's She-Hulk.
Oh, wait, I got to watch that.
Yeah,
I missed it last
we
week.
missed 2 episodes.
She-Hulk is good, but a lot of people don't like it because they kept her true to the comic. In the comic, She-Hulk would like talk to the audience, and that's what she does in the show. And I think people wanted more Hulk action than She-Hulk action. Another thing they didn't do in the comics, she's a real slut. She slept with you name him, and she slept with him. But in this, they did that little thing where she was going on dates and stuff. But in the comics, she was a real little fast ass. She slept with Thor. She slept with the Hulk. She slept with Captain America. She slept with Hawkeye. She slept
Mm.
with all the Avengers, Iron
Mm-hmm.
Man, all of them. She slept with all of them, even some of the women. So Miss
Mm.
She-Hulk was hot and ass
Mm.
in the comic books.
But it's a good show. It is.
But
It's a
I
good
like
show.
it.
I
I
like
like
it.
it.
I like it. I like it too.
And I think, again, people that never read her comic, they're thrown off how she talks to the
Yeah.
audience. But in the comic, that's what she did. Like, she would look
Mm.
away in the comic and go, do y'all understand what I'm going through? Do y'all see what I have to deal with?
Mm-hmm.
So they kept that true to the comic, but a lot of things don't stay comic book driven.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Go to Disney Plus.
because they try to make it more friend.
I guess they try to make it more interesting.
Right. And
Yeah.
like they changed their costumes because let's face facts. They in comics they put women in little bathing suits that don't even make sense why they should have on the bathing suit to be fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that part where they change the clothes, but they kind of try to make them look like you know if their costume was red, they put them in red, but they give them a more constructive costume to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I get that part. Now another uh comic book movie that I'm looking forward to is Black Adam.
Yes, starring The Rock.
I don't want to be disappointed because DC movies tend to disappoint everybody
Mm-hmm.
because they never stick to the comic. They never stick to it. They
Mm-hmm.
change everything.
Right. Right.
I'm glad to see they got a Black Hawk man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's who everybody is really excited for is Hawkman. Um, but
Oh.
I'm Friday. I'm just you know I don't know. I gotta see it to make sure it's gonna be good. Shazam wasn't bad, but
Mm-hmm.
Shazam I think focused more on the younger version of him as opposed to the superhero version of him. And I think that's where people lost interest in Shazam. But with Black Adam, it's gonna be a whole different ball game. And y'all, I have always been a Hocus Pocus fan with Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker and I can't think of the other girl's name. I have always loved that movie. And I am so excited that Friday Hocus Pocus 2 is coming out. Yes, they made a part 2 finally. And Hocus
Mm-hmm.
Pocus 2 is coming back with all the original cast except for the kids,
Mm-hmm.
which, I really don't care. I want Bette Midler. I want Sarah Jessica Parker. I can't think of her name, and she's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
The third witch. Um,
She played in Tyler Perry's movie A Medea Christmas.
yeah, and I love her.
Yeah.
I love her. I
So
can't
yeah,
think
it's
of her
gonna
name.
it's gonna be a very good movie. I hope.
Yes, I think it's going to be good. I hope that it just isn't a movie they made to make a part two, just because. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes they make a part two and it just be a mess because, you know, they just wanted to make a part two.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't have nothing better to think about to write, so they just wrote some bullshit and said this is going to be the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope that's not the case with this because I love this movie and I want to love part two. I want to love part two as much as I love part one. I'm surprised Sarah Jessica Parker agreed to do this.
Why?
Because she didn't agree. I don't know. I was shocked that she agreed to do this. I didn't think I just felt she was so far in her career that she wouldn't want to do this again.
Oh, okay.
I felt like, she did this when she did it because it was a movie role. And I just felt like she wouldn't want to do this again because she was so far along in her career and made a name for herself that, some actors do that. But I don't want to play that role again. I just did that because, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of felt like she wasn't going to do it, but when I found out all three of them was on board to do it again, the Jimmy, that's her last name. The other one, the Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'm glad they all decided to come back and do it. And I think they did it because they saw how much of a cult favorite it became. So
Mm-hmm.
why not do a part two?
Now you can get that show on you can get Hocus Pocus on the Disney Plus app. You have to have Disney Plus in order to see this. It's not a subscription channel from your local cable company. It's an independent network um,
That you
called
can pull up on your smart
Disney
TV.
Plus. It I believe they're running a promotion right now. If you want to get the Disney Plus app, I believe you get the first month free, and then after
I think
that
it's they
they charge
changed
you
it.
$9.99.
I think they changed it. I think it's $1.99 now.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I pay for we pay for our subscription to Disney Plus, and it's $9.99 per month. So the price of having Disney Plus as a network is reasonable.
Because you get all the Disney movies, the Pixar movies, the Marvel movies,
Yes.
Star Wars, and National
Mm-hmm.
Geographic.
Yeah. So you get a lot. You get a
Yeah,
lot with the Disney Plus app.
it's not
So
a waste of money.
yeah, it's not, and you can download the app from the App Store, or if you have an Android, you can download it on Google Play. So
Or you could just download it on your smart TV.
mhm. Now this I tell you this the Disney Plus channel is really a great channel to have, especially if you're into superhero movies like Joseph and I. Like we follow all the superhero movies like the the Avengers Endgame, Thor, Iron Man, um,
Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four, the Hulk. So if you're looking for some good programming to watch and you like superhero movies, they even have the X-Men on Disney Plus. Get Disney Plus. Disney Plus has a lot of great it has a lot of good movies on there. A lot of good movies on there. And the Geographic channel is really good. Another channel on Disney Plus which is really good is Pixar. I've been watching this series on Pixar where they talk about what our world will be like in the next 50 to 100 years. And they talk about the advancements of the internet, and us not having to basically you can live in your house without even going outside, because modern technology has just taken off. I mean, it's a day and age where they have flying cars and stuff like that. So, yeah, Pixar is a good network on Disney Plus as
And if
well.
you're a Star Wars fan, they got everything Star Wars on there.
Yeah, they do.
As much as I love sci-fi, I have never been able to get into Star Wars. I don't know
I've
why.
watched some Star Wars movies,
I
not
know
all
I've
of them.
watched them, but I just haven't gotten into them
Hmm.
as much as I like sci-fi. Like
Yeah.
I love sci-fi. If it's something doing with outer space and people in outer space and things of that nature, I love it. I love movies like that, Battlestar Galactica.
Hmm.
Oh God, it was a show that used to come on Saturdays. Um, I used to love that show, and it was about them being in space and going to different planets. I love Star Trek. I just have never, for whatever reason, I have never ever been able to get into Star
Yeah,
Wars.
me neither. I've
I
watched
don't know
some of the movies. I
why.
haven't watched all of them.
Honestly, I watched quite a few, but it just never interested me.
To me, they're just dry.
It just, oh God, like I be mad because I want to get into it and I can't.
Right, right.
But like Guardians of the Galaxy, I love that. Like them being in space and going different places and seeing people that look different ways. I love that.
Hmm.
But Star Wars to me just didn't hold that same
Yeah.
interest.
And Star Wars has some great characters too.
Right.
It does. It has some great characters. I just like you. I've never been able to get into
Right.
the movies. I really haven't.
So I ain't mad at it. Oh yes, it's time to get this redone, honey. I'm losing jewels and things.
Yeah.
It's time to get my nails done.
Yeah. Well, guys, that was lunchtime chat. We just wanted to chat with you guys, see what you were up to, see what you were doing, let
Get
you
back to
know
work.
let you guys know what we're doing. We're just, today is just a laid
A
back
laid
day.
back vibe.
Like I said, I'm excited because I'm going to see my new great niece. My niece had her baby last week, so I'm going to see my great niece, my new great niece. She is such a beautiful little baby. I've seen pictures, but I'm actually going over there to see her. She is such a beautiful little baby, so I'm looking forward to that. So that's what our day is going to consist of today. But in the meantime, guys, make sure you're watching us on all social media platforms. If you need to get in contact with us, you can simply send us an email, or you can contact us on Messenger. You can contact us on Instagram as well.
Like I said in the beginning of the video, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that notification bell so you know when we go live or drop new content for you guys.
And guys, we need you to donate to the McCraeKingz platform. Please donate to our platform by sending us a Cash App. You can send us a Cash App. We also do Venmo. We do PayPal. We also do.
Hey, Miss Southern
What
Girl.
else? What else do we? Did I miss anything? No, I didn't miss anything. So we do Cash App, PayPal, Venmo.
And if you don't have none of that, you can super chat us.
Right. You can send us a super chat, or you can send us a
Thank you after the video is done.
Yeah, you can send us a super chat, or you can send us a thank you after the video. Know that all of your donations are greatly appreciated, and we will take those donations and we will put them back into our platform so that our platform will grow.
Check out the McCraeKingz boutique. The link will be in the description box after the video. So make
Yes.
sure you check out the McCraeKingz boutiques. We have leggings, we have pillows, we have coffee mugs, we have cold mugs, we have you name it, it's in there. And coronavirus ain't over yet, so get your McCraeKingz face mask.
Now, that does it for our show today. Please stay tuned, and don't forget about Pillow Talk. Pillow Talk will be airing tonight at what, 10 o'clock?
10:30.
At 10:30, we will be airing Pillow Talk. So tune in for Pillow Talk tonight at 10:30. And that's it. Joseph, do you have any last words?
Yes. If nobody tells you they love you today, know that me and Tremel do. And there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. As well as walk in love, peace, sunshine, and happiness, and all those great and wonderful things. And if you're new, then you don't know. But if you're not new, you already know. It's what, Tremel?
It's Team McCrae.
All damn day. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. See you tonight.
Yes, enjoy your day. Talk to you soon.
Love ya.
Love you. Bye bye.
Peace.